Good evening. Ira Epstein with your Spider ETF stock market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for the evening of Wednesday, 9/11/2024. You know what happened 23 years ago, right? The planes hitting World Trade Center and so on, Pentagon, just terrible. Don't forget it. This is a day where you take a moment out, you think about that time, you never forget, and just think about those people that did it. They're still your enemies. Nothing has really changed in the world. We've gotten older. That's about it. The good news is America's done a great job of, you think in 23 years they haven't tried to do things like that again. Let's give credit where credit's due. Our staffs here do a great job. Hate to hear about the firemen today all dying from rushing in there and trying to save lives. They're saying more of them died now from health issues than they did during the fire. That is just unbelievably terrible. All right, so we have the Harris-Trump debate, and bing, bing, the winner, to me, Harris. She absolutely looked better on stage. She came there with a prep plan to goad him, canned answers, and not give any substance. She did all that, all right? Some of it's insulting. There is no substance. Not one word about the trade deficit was even offered by the moderators, which is interesting to me, because all these two people know, both of them, is spend, spend, spend under them. While Trump says he's reining it in, you can't control Congress. And when he did, there was enough dissension to stop him from getting things done other than presidential decree on a lot of parts. In Harris, nah. She's the immigration czar. He blew it. He went after her, but really didn't. He had to go, how come 6 months before the election, you and your crony, Biden, this is his words, not mine, of course, decided that now is the time that we fight that so that the numbers before the poll can show how it's all coming down. He could have done so much more. He could have gone into the deficit. He did as best as he could for Trump, but as soon as you attack him, his nature is such. He attacks back and he can't get off point. What are you talking that my rallies, people are leaving right away? She got him. She goaded him, caught him, and away he went. You don't have to agree with me. I don't think he lost his base. Nah, that wouldn't do it. Her base, which is all of the Biden base, handed to her. People in the middle might have gone a bit to her. So that she might have got. Are they going to be in the states where the Electoral College matters? That's the bigger issue. Will there be another debate? Well, it wouldn't surprise me if he wants one and she doesn't, because she succeeded in not giving any facts. I know now about her mother raising her in her house. Oh, please, enough. We know that Trump came from storied money, according to her. He says he didn't, all right? A fraction of what people say. That fraction is what most of us never have in our life, right? So he shouldn't have fallen into the traps that she laid for him, and he did. All right. CPI came out today. So on the CPI number, this was not a big decline, not at all. In fact, if anything, if you look at the number, up 1/10. So I am of the opinion this number does not call for 50 basis points. I look at the jobs report, 140,000 jobs. I look at JOLTS, yes, it lost 500,000 round jobs. That's of concern. It is harder to get a job. People are still getting the jobs as I look at it. And there's some good paying ones, all right? Today I get an email on a maid service for your house. $26 an hour for their starting personnel. They get benefits, they get transportation, everything. All right, so let's assume they come to your house for 5 hours. They're going to make roughly $150. If they're good, you'll end up paying more. So that's a livable wage. That's my point. Now, that's what I got from that. And I like the fact that they're giving benefits, that company. So that was impressive to me. We're going to get PPI tomorrow, so maybe we go there right now before I get into this. Weekly's jobless claims, they're looking for 2,000 lower at 225. August producer price index comes out 730. They're looking for about a 0.2 increase, but these are still increases, not decreases. Energy analysts are forecasting the EIA natural gas storage number at 50 billion cubic feet. We get the supply-demand report in grains at 11 o'clock. So This wraps up the events going into, after tomorrow, to me at least, the big numbers going into what the Fed will do. And I think the Fed takes the easy road, which is 25 basis points. If they go 50, they're giving you a message there is something worse than we know about with the numbers I just went through. Could that be the case? Of course. They have numbers that you and I don't see. But I don't think that's going to be their nature. They can go 25 and give themselves 30 days to say, oh, things are getting not like we want them, and go 50, and that will not be the same impact on the first rate cut as 25 from a psychological point of view. When we look at all these markets, uranium got a good bid today. It came alive because Russia has said, okay, the United States, we're not going to ship anywhere like you want the amount of uranium. In fact, nickel and titanium, we're going to fight you back for all you're doing against us. So you get a bounce there. GameStop, they keep going out there to raise more and more money. What they're going to do with their company, nobody seems to know. In the gold market, I'm seeing the drifting. We saw AMC still stuck here under the $5 mark. You were up $8 in NVIDIA. And we saw Jensen, he was in San Francisco at the Goldman Sachs, I wanted the words, at the Goldman Sachs Symposium. And he basically said that they look for their margins to pick up as they roll out their Blackwell. Maybe you won't be 80%, but whatever. He sees demand off the wall. He sees that the people want to use their servers and they will pay for the cloud service because the servers are so much faster that they have than what you could have, that even though you're paying a fee, you're getting so much production out of it, away you go. And the interesting thing he said was his programmers now, every programmer in the company uses AI to write code. Fascinating. So the guy that's doing it is using it, and that's important. Amazon, another rally. Amazon's a company I think I want to own before Christmas, or one of them I think you should own, might be the right words too. Let's go to the charts. Now remember, I want you to write me what charts you want to do. I want to repeat, yesterday's videos were a nightmare. First, I listened to a test video before I posted. I've done 2 tests already tonight. The one I tested sounded fine. Apparently the microphone went. And you got that hum and other sounds in there. That wasn't the one I tested. I saw 4 or 5 of you write me on it, and I went and I tested the same one again in the morning by a mistake. I didn't look for it. On the next one, my IT department looked, they said, we found it. Look at this. I said, oh, that's a disaster going on. And we had to change mics there. I had to change one on my desktop too. It's all done. All right, so this should sound good. Got to buy a different mic, but that's okay. I've got backups. In BND, we've had a heck of a run-up. The market's going to get rate cuts. The cycle is beginning. The question is the market getting a little bit ahead of itself and in need of a correction or not? That is what you're questioning. The pattern is bullish. Higher lows on the swing line. See the yellow line? You're looking for peaks and valleys, and higher highs. That is bullish. The market is over the 18-day moving average of closes. That is my determination of bullish or bearish bias. Under it, I have bearish bias. When over it, I'm looking to take buy signals. Notice that since the beginning of July, it has been over it and staying over it. That's important. The resistance is here, the Bollinger Band. Now, generally on the first challenge of a Bollinger Band are where the pros come out, especially if you're overbought. But the game changes, and I can walk you through this. The game changes if, when you first get up, like you did here, if the numbers start embedding. They're not embedding there. They're not embedding, let me go here, I got to go forward. No, I'm doing it the right way. This is September 6th. The 9th, still not embedded. Day 1 of embedding was yesterday. Today, day 2. Okay, I need another day. If you fall back tomorrow and one of these numbers isn't over 80, you're just in an overbought market that is trying to shift its nature to go embedded for a lift. I don't see a reason to do that. And that's because I think I've already mentally said the Fed's going 25 basis points. In Rivian, as I told you, this was the shot to get down there. It didn't do it. The resistance is between right here, the 100-day average up to the Bollinger Band. But if you take out this high right here of 1406, what ends up happening is you've broken the bear trend. And the market's now in the sideways action. For me, wanting to own this company over time, I want this to come out of here and get a momentum trade to the upside. In CrowdStrike, this is similar. You had a rally, you've pulled back, you're running the lower Bollinger Band. I doubt you're going back down here. We know the problems that the company had. Now it's got to build a base to work from over time. Right now, there is no trend. You have a higher high and lower and low, and you had an outside day up today. Take out today's low, tomorrow or Friday, you got a bigger problem. We go through that. No surprise when you had the news come out today that Russia was going to cut back what U.S. can get for uranium. That is the reason we need to be producing our own. So the chart pattern had been bearish coming in, but that news, if you take out the high right here of 2450, you don't want to be short anymore. You opened up today, as you can see, in the neighborhood right there. The open was 2410. The high's 2547. So it got there. Once it got through that high, for my type of work, you don't want to be short anymore. And the resistance should be the first challenge of the 18-day average, at least for a pause. You got that so far. There's nothing on this chart yet bullish in the chart formation. In Dell, it is similar to CrowdStrike and the others, going sideways in the Bollinger Band, fighting battles at the 200-day average. The 18 is resistance, the Bollinger Band is support, and coming out of an oversold condition. Close over these averages, you get your first little bit of friendliness in the market. When we take a look at Linn. So I was looking at Linn, and I ran Toll Brothers today and just said, will the charts look different? They look so similar to me. Lower highs, lower lows. I don't think there's much downside in the chart. I think it'll fight a battle at the 18-day average. But like so many of the others, in the month of September, I can start making an argument for spinning and more sideways action than trending action. In XHB, I was hoping you'd hit the lower Bollinger Band, given how oversold you are. You're probably going to get back up and fight at that 18-day average. If you clear 114.73, you break the current bear pattern, but you don't start a bull pattern. You'd have a lower low and a higher high with an oversold market. Financial services, today was the cover short day. Now, if you were hearing my morning video when I recorded it, I was very clear. I said, today's going to be a day that you hear me say cover shorts, cover shorts, cover shorts. You hit the lower Bollinger Band, not oversold, trend down. But the first time you hit it, if you've taken my course, which tells me if you move your cursor up here at any point in the video, you're going to see an icon. You can click that to go to my courses. At the end of this, there'll be a video. It's at iraepstein.com. It's how you learn these Bollinger Bands and the rules that I have with it. XLI, what did you do? You went right for the first time to the Bollinger Band. That's the cover short area. Now, if you get over 128.33, you're not bullish. You have a lower low, higher high. You got nothing. To hold the bear trend, you can't take out yesterday's high. In XLE, this is that Gorilla Glue trade on the band. The first spot to cover the short is here. The market is still not embedded. I know it's fallen more, but if I were a bear trader, that's where I would have called it a day. And yeah, you don't always catch them. But I'll play that more times than not, you'll turn. And that's what trading is about. You're not trying to catch the low or the high. You need a zone, and then if you're not comfortable, you walk. Let me tell you what I think is terrible. You got this hurricane, and you're not rallying. You got OPEC saying they're not going to produce more oil in October through November, and you're not rallying. This market is in trouble. In the gold market, I love the sideways action that it's doing. I still think the gold has a big shot up, and the reason is, in the end, I think the Fed cuts rates. I think it's still questionable if I'm right. I'm being bearish the dollar because of that, but I know interest rates are going to fall via the Fed doing that and the market anticipating what the Fed does. Those are elements that are more friendly than bearish the gold market. So something to think about. Silver, gold, the silver is still weaker, but today was the day that this whole downside move ended for me. You had lower highs, lower lows, and with the action of yesterday, you had the outside day up, and today you follow through. Game over. I don't know where it wants to rally other than probably the 18 and the 100, but being short anymore doesn't make sense to me. And in copper, this has come alive where you can't be short either. Like silver, you now got a different pattern that came on the chart, and you're not embedded. And you did hit the lower Bollinger Band, and you did bottom there. There's again that Gorilla Glue trade. But for my money, I don't know. You've built in a Fed that's just going to go 50, 50, or in 25. You know, everybody's still looking. If you look at the CME swap page and all, I think it's called CME Fed Watch. Go to Google and take a look. You've got people still in the 125 area. I think you're going to get a quarter now, so I don't know what you'll do after that. The data will tell us, I guess. In UUP, higher lows, higher highs. I'm looking for big time resistance up here. I'm not using the word top, but that's where I think the longs come out. You're already overbought, and it's a flip-flop in FXE down here. So that's how I'm looking at the market and what it will do. Remember, take a look here. If you want to learn Bollinger Bands, you can move your cursor here. It'll take you to the course area. And remember, it's iraepstein.com, courses. Have yourself a great one. Talk to you in the morning. I hope this sounds a lot better to you, and I apologize.